of Installation 04. I am 343 Guilty Spark. Someone has released the flood. My function is to prevent it from leaving this installation, but I require your assistance.
This brings back
This way.
This brings back so many memories for me. I love
For
it.
over 100,000 years, the Foreigner AI construct, known as 343 Guilty Spark, watched over Installation 04, or Alpha Halo. He would protect his post with near religious zeal from the dangers of the galaxy after the firing of the Halo array to stop the flood. Yet what is the real story of this monitor? Spark's story begins after the events of the Human-Foreigner War. Ancient humanity, after resisting and fleeing the horrors of the flood and being defeated by the Foreigners, were de-evolved as punishment for the cleansing of foreigner worlds and using the resources to fight the flood, unbeknownst to the Foreigners, who were clueless of the flood's existence. A few were converted into the genetic memories called Gaia, with a composer in the hopes that a cure for the flood would be discovered. These Gaia were implemented into the minds of their primitive relatives to be passed on from generation to generation. From these generations came a young man named Chakas. Along with his compatriot Riser, who was a different human subspecies, the two would find themselves thrown into the galactic scene with the appearance of a foreigner youth named Bornstellar. Bornstellar was looking for the
So many
relics and
names.
treasures of the long-lost precursor civilization and enlisted the aid of the two humans. Instead of treasure, they found the Didact. The Didact would take these three on an intergalactic journey in pursuit of answers about what had happened in the Didact's 1,000-year exile. They would find the Halos being used for nefarious purposes by corrupt forerunners and would be separated by the same culprits. Chakas and Riser were cast onto a rogue Halo ring, Installation 07, on a collision course with a rapidly advancing planet. Through travels and trials on the ring, Chakas would learn the truth about the precursors and the flood from the ancient Gaia brewing inside his mind, the Lord of Admirals, the arch-rival of the Didact, nearly 1,000 years ago. The flood and precursors were one and the same, and had come to join all life in the galaxy as the flood. Chakas would be rescued by Bornstellar, now the Didact, but his body was badly damaged after he helped save the ring from its collision course, and thus was composed into a monitor. Monitor Chakas would be reassigned to work on the Greater Ark, the first forge of the Halos, and a repository for biological life under the care of the Librarian. One Halo, Omega Halo, served as a colony for primitive man and was stationed near the Greater Ark. This Halo would be used by the Didact to create an army of Promethean knights through the use of the Composer. The Greater Ark would soon come under attack by the Flood. Chakas would valiantly help save the remaining survivors and flee. After these events, he was renamed 343 Guilty Spark by the Didact and tasked with caring for Installation 04. Sadly, his memories of his life as Chakas were locked away. The rest is history. 343 Guilty Spark would encounter humanity again in 2552 on Installation 04 amidst the chaos of the Human Covenant War and the release of the Flood on his ring. The destruction of his ring would force Spark to a nearby gas mine and inadvertently turn the wheels of the dissolution of the Covenant through the heretics. Spark would aid in the halting of Delta Halo's firing and join humanity's journey to the Lesser Ark, the second Ark constructed, only to betray them in order to try and save the newly constructed Halo ring to replace his former ring. As a result, he perished. Or did he? Reports from the Office of Naval Intelligence show that Spark's remains were recovered from the debris field of the Lesser Ark and reactivated. With his memories restored to him, Spark would hijack the UNSC Rubicon and begin to search for the Librarian. Where will he appear next? That is a mystery.
The Librarian's gone. So I didn't really know Spark's story. I mean, does anybody in the Halo series get a good ending at all? Ever? I can't think of one person that gets a good ending or just like a good anything in this whole Halo world. No one does. Ever. At all. But that is really cool. I didn't know that Spark used to be a human and then he got put into like a little bitty floating ball, and it's sad that his memories were then repressed, so then he didn't know, so it's kind of like I've watched so many videos and everything is starting to meld together So it's kind of like what happened with the Prometheans and how they used to be humans, you know. So they they probably you know, it's the same thing with them, you know, with their human self. All of those memories and everything were like, you know, repressed, and they couldn't remember anything. And that is sad. I didn't know anything about that, about 343 Guilty Spark. And that beginning from the cutscene from Halo CE, that brings back so many memories for me because I used to love that game. I mean, I still do, you know, it's a classic. But I used to hate that level where the flood come. I hated that as a kid so much, and I was 8 years old when I started playing Halo. So you can imagine me as an 8-year-old playing the flood, and it was so scary as a kid. So it just brings back so many memories for me. It was so fun.